Lovely people, a pleasant evening to everybody. No, listen to me. I have a little mix up for everybody. I heard a little birdie on the news, watching the news. But seriously, no, beautiful people. So the caption said I should have taken a snapshot, but I'm sure for those of us who watch the news would have seen it, where the Prime Minister Andrew Holness, or Dr. Andrew Holness, Prime Minister of Jamaica, was speaking at a rally, and he said his hands are clean. His hands are clean. So he's saying that he has not gotten his monies that he has through ill-gotten means, through ill means, whether you want to call it through thievery or through scamming, chopping. He said that everything, he doesn't know what a gold spoon in a mouth is. Every penny that he has, he had to work very hard for it. He has not taken the people's monies. He has had to work hard for it. I remember sometime I was watching a little sort of documentary, in a sense, of his wife, and I didn't know that she had she had so many accolades behind her name, and the things that she was involved in and so on, that would probably garner her financial life as presently. And I'm bringing in this was not mentioned right there at the rally, and I said to myself, I don't know, somebody had given me once what, well, hear me, I was about to say we don't know what the Prime Minister's salary is, and I forgot that he had not taken the increase, but everybody, all six, how many of them again, 63, 66, sometimes, I'm just really trying to understand politics, so forgive me if I don't know the correct number, but both the JLP and PNP members had taken the increase, except the Prime Minister. And he had kept his salary as is. And I know that they will be given perks and other little benefits and so on, like any other public servant. So the Prime Minister said he has not, everything that he has had to work for, his hands are basically clean. He had not gotten it through ill-gotten means, as mentioned. Let me not speak, because the Integrity Commission saga was not brought into question at that rally. There could be, because of legalities surrounding it, if it is before the court, sometimes, and I've heard people say this, wonderful people, so don't try and bash me, that sometimes when they have cases before the court, they're careful not to speak on the matter lest they put their foot down their throats and get themselves in further trouble. So I can understand in that sense why he may not have had brought that up in the rally, and to just keep it very general, to say that, look, all the monies that I've accumulated, I have not done it through ill-gotten means. There can be truth to that, people. And, even though not declaring, meaning, you have some big business people, for example, if you read a lot of Robert Kiyosaki's books, he will tell you that this is how he becomes rich. He uses other people's money. In other words, he will take large loans while his money will accumulate interest, and he builds and he earns on his wealth, and he purchases gold and all kinds of different investments he will do, while obviously he has to pay back the people's money that he borrows. So if you get a large amount of money to borrow, and you maybe pay back at a smaller at a lower interest, so your earning is still above your expenses, then maybe, and then you have investments. If you get millions of dollars, you can take some and say, go and put here, you put there, I put there, you work hard for it. So who knows, maybe he has inherited, well, he said he didn't have inheritances, because he doesn't know what a gold spoon in a mouth is. He has had to work hard for it. His hands are clean. I'm only quoting what he has said at this rally, and I'm sure many people have been to the rally, and I'm sure that there are not just GLP people would have gone, because they want to hear what their opponent has to say. And Sir Daryl Vaz, got up and said they came with the foolishness in 2016 because them evil and them wicked and bad-minded, because they don't want the man to, I suppose, earn, because since his background is not one of the upper echelon, and it's almost like he's saying, and I'm reading all of this, he did not say this, it's as though they don't want him to be a part of the wealthy in the society sort of situation. Her Dr. Tufton said that it's like he didn't use this terminology, he used a different one, but I'm using this because it's similar. Like the other side was caught with their pants down. They woke up and was totally surprised, when they noticed in all 14 parishes, the booklets were handed out, with over 200 and odd achievements of the Jamaica Labour Party, and that some people may need sort of psychiatric help because they would have left their goat farming or something to go and wipe with the glass, and we all know who that is and what that is in relation to. But with all of this, the whole bolo slush, let's call it that, because this is like a bolo slush. Beautiful Jamaican people, I just hope that one day, one fine day, our country would be run so good, consistently, and we just see growth after growth after growth, development after development after development. I mean, in all facets, education, finance. I mean, when I say finance, I'm talking job, I'm talking infrastructure, I'm talking improvement in schools, hospitals, continue in the continuation of crime reduction, not just crime, but violence against women, violence against children, violence against animals, and even violence against men. Men, it usually would be men on men. The abuse, you have women who can be verbally abusive to men and sometimes physically. But I always say that, trust me, at them man they allow it. Because if they were to get into their real testosterone and their man strength, that woman wouldn't like him gear one, like him could have maga like tread little more. When that testosterone rises up. So I think in those cases the men just allow it, because them realize if they ever put their hands on that woman, dog them are supper. That's why I don't encourage women to fight men. Don't do it. Anyway, I digressed a little bit. And I want to see Jamaica just thriving. I want our salaries to be similar to Singapore's, even better. Why not? Somebody had reminded me that they took our manifesto or model and they ran with it, and look at what Singapore is today, that small country. I don't think it's it's not a big country, I think, from the last time I looked at, the population. Not a big country. And look at what I can never, boy, may I tell me the names, but you know the man. Lee Fang, something or other. I might not be calling his name right, but you can. And he was the prime minister for 31 years, from 1959 to 1990. Yeah, 1959 to 1990. 31 years. He must, and most of the years, I mean, his tenure was just not wasted. He did a fantastic, a splendiferous, fantabulous, resplendent job. Very awe-inspiring, and the prime minister was at somebody said the podcast was actually in the grill. I thought it was overseas, where the interviewer, he was saying to the interviewer, the prime minister was saying to the interviewer that, Jamaica has moved from being a basket case to being a case study. Because, when you heard the news clippings, they would say Jamaica would be like a running joke. Oh, like it's almost like they're saying that country is still alive because of the debt that we owed and probably struggled to pay. We just kept borrowing and borrowing and borrowing. It's, sometimes with the R's, borrowing. Just borrowing and borrowing and borrowing. Right? And it's like borrowing to no end. And, the prime minister said he had to, execute fiscal discipline, and said, no, 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 we're drawing breaks here. This is getting way out of hand. And I suppose with other beatings, he decides that, with all of what they're throwing the dirt on me, I'm going to shift to the side and allow the dirt to be like a ladder, to let it be a propeller for me to do good, and to do very good, and to do very well. So, ladies and gentlemen, the Prime Minister says his hands are clean, and he has worked hard for every cent. He has not taken anybody's money unfairly, unjustly. illegally or unlawfully if you want to do it, or unethically. He has had to work very hard for it. He said the literal caption says, "My hands are clean." Guys, you have it there. You know what to do. Read TikTok and YouTube. Subscribe. Give me one of those lions.